Hello, Tubies. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing fantastically fabulous, and welcome back to another episode of The Witchy Show. Make sure that you're subscribed, that you hit the like button, that you leave lots of comments, and that you hit that bell notification, okay? If you don't do any of that, I will burn your house down. JK. So, what I wanted to talk about today was cursed objects. We all tend to, well, maybe we don't all do this, but some of us do this. We go to thrift stores and we find witchy things, okay? They might be a candle. They smell so good. Or they might be a jar that we store things in. Or they might be a little wooden box that we found that looks really cool and could store our gems. And we get home and we grab our sage and we sage over the object, or if we, I don't know how most of you people cleanse your objects, some put them in salt, like set them in salt or sprinkle salt on them or whatever the case may be. But what does that do? What does it do when we take our candle and we sage it and we smudge it and we cleanse it? What is that doing? What is that cleansing it of? Well, it's cleansing it of the previous owner's energies. Okay, so if I own this candle and I never use this candle, right? I'm a 75-year-old lady who lives in her house all alone, never uses her candle, and she dies, and this candle's just been sitting there and it gets passed down to a thrift store. Then maybe you pick it up and you cleanse it. You're cleansing the old lady energy off of it. That's basically what you're doing in that particular instance. But how do you cleanse cursed objects, or can you? And can you curse objects? I feel like you should all be screaming at your monitors, yes. But I have a feeling that there's a few of you out there screaming at your monitors, I don't know. We hear about cursed objects all the time in TV, okay? We've heard about it in history where some of the Egyptian tombs that were opened were supposedly cursed, or the objects in them were cursed, or whatever the case may be. And a lot of times we boil it down to superstition, right? We tell each other, cleanse the objects that you buy, whether they be from thrift stores or wherever, because the people that handle the objects put their energy into it, and then when you get it home, there could be a wash of energies in it. So all you're really doing is just resetting the energy level of that item so that you can put your own energies into it. But if it's cursed, or if it's enchanted, that's a whole other thing. So the best thing to do would to curse a candle. Any candle that you want to gift to somebody, you can curse it. Just curse the candle, place the curse on the candle. Now, you can do it in one of two ways. You can curse it so that if the candle is in the room and not lit, it's still emanating the curse. It's an object that is sitting in a room emanating magic or energy, okay? You could also do it where if they ever burn the candle, then the curse will start to affect the situation, affect the environment, affect the energies of that environment, right? So there's two ways to curse it, but how do you remove a curse? And how do you know if an item is cursed? So a lot of times, like if you were a fan of Tequila when she was posting videos back in the day, like decades ago, she would talk about her haunted dolls, okay? And there's a difference between an item being haunted and an item being cursed, okay? It depends on who cursed the item and what kind of curse they put into it. It's not like you're gonna be able to pick it up and be like, ooh, this candle is cursed with a death curse, and if I use it, I will die instantly. Like, that's television magic, okay? Real witchcraft is, yes, cleanse your items, but also try to tap into the energies of the item to see if there's any other energy that's lingering that shouldn't be there. And the way you can do that is you can meditate on the object itself. So here's what I would do. Let's say I was given this candle, right? And I don't know the person who gave it to me, and maybe they're a witch, and maybe they cursed it. Okay, let's just go with a lot of maybes here. So the first thing to do is to cleanse the candle. Cleanse the candle, cleanse the space. Okay. The other thing to do, what I would do if I was given this candle by somebody, and let's say it was cursed, right? But they didn't tell me that. You can place it in a circle of salt, okay? And in my mind and in my opinion and in my craft, what that would do is it would stop the energies dissipating outside of that salt circle. So it's kind of like you're casting a circle, but you're just placing an item in the circle. I mean, like, any energy that's already on you that hasn't been expelled cannot get out of the circle, right? So you're already protecting your space from a foreign potential curse. The next thing that I would do is that I would call upon my spirits, and I would call upon the Morrigan, and I would ask them to cleanse the item and remove any energies from the item that are not my own. And the reason that I'm asking for a deity to help me with this is because I don't actually know if the item is cursed or not. Right? When we pick up items from thrift stores and flea markets and farmers markets and all of that stuff, and we think, oh, it's really cool, I'm going to use it in my witchy thing, we don't know where that item came from. We don't know if there's another witch that made the candle, especially if it's a homemade candle. We don't know if they're a witch. We don't know if they have any magical practices. We don't know if they're a Christian who just prayed over the candle and was like, please protect the person who burns this. We don't know any of that. So while it might be a bit more intensive to cleanse your items, what I would recommend is take the item or items that you have collected, place them in a salt circle, and if you can, place the salt circle and the item that's in the salt circle outside under a full moon. Call upon your deities, call upon your spirits, call upon your ancestors, call upon the earth, call upon the moon, call upon whatever, and ask them to cleanse the item and remove any impurities, negative energies, curses, hexes, spells, whatever that's on the item. Okay? You can do this with your own items. Okay, so let's say that you have this candle for like 10 years, right? And maybe 6 months ago you started working and putting intentions into it. You didn't dress it with anything, but you started putting the intentions into it, and now you don't need those intentions in the candle anymore. You could simply cleanse it of your intentions, or you could do the more elaborate steps that I've laid out where you place the item in a salt circle, preferably outside if at all possible. It depends upon the item, it depends upon the weather. If you can, cover it in some kind of glass covering or whatever. And then this way you can protect the item from the elements while it's out under the full moon, right? So there's like a whole ritual that you could do around cleansing an item. You could even use the lesser banishing ritual on an item to dispel negativity from the item itself. Although that's more advanced than what I'm suggesting, which is a simple salt circle under a full moon. Call upon your whatever it is you work with to have them remove the energies from the item. Okay? I hope that you gained something from this, and I hope that it was educational for you. And remember, you must like, you must comment, you must subscribe, and you must hit that bell notification, because if you don't, you're going to miss all of the fabulous content that The Witchy Show has coming. And if you miss all of that content, then what kind of subscriber are you? Right? What kind of fan? What kind of stan are you? Right? Let's not be stupid. You know what to do. Get to a clicking.